It's easy to hear your favorite artist on WFPK from wherever you are. Listen on your smart speaker, live stream from our website at WFPK.org from Louisville Public Media.
Consequence Podcast Network.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence of Sound, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Big hello to everyone who's subscribed to the series. Always appreciate you all listening every week and leaving some comments wherever you're listening from. But of course, if you're not a subscriber, take that moment to do so right now, because if you made it here, that means you're into learning all about your favorite artist and maybe discovering some new ones, or at least know what's happening in the music world. You can subscribe anywhere you get your podcast from, anywhere you're listening from right now. That does include iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the rest of the places in podcast land. New interviews every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you might as well keep up. I'm Kyle Meredith, and today I'm going to be talking with Wang Chung. Founding member Nick Feldman jumps on the line. In fact, this interview was actually recorded earlier in the summer. They were just about to play a series called Back to the Basement, where a whole bunch of some great 80s artists got together, of course, in their own respective homes, and recorded a concert for frontline workers, where the proceeds would go. The whole thing's still up online. It's all put together by Abducted by the 80s. So we start out talking about that and then remaking a classic. They've done a new version called Everybody Stay Safe Tonight. You can, of course, guess why it was made and what it means, but it's not just about quarantining and the pandemic. As Nick will tell you, it was about making a statement, even for what's going on in the world with the Black Lives Matter, race relations, protest, all of that movements. It sort of speaks to all of that, or at least that's how they hear the song and see the song these days. We'll talk about rewriting classics and an orchestral album that they just put out last year called Orchesography. Teamed together with an orchestra to redo all their classic songs. So I want to hear about what that experience has been like. And as Nick tells you, a lot of their songs, it really lends itself to that kind of production, especially since it's they've been used in so many different movies and TV shows, film soundtracks. And then we'll lead up to what comes next. For a few years, the band have been talking about a compilation called Clear Light, Dark Matter that encompasses their entire career, stuff that's in the vault, stuff that we haven't heard, rarities, B-sides, the whole thing. He says that's finally going to happen. He expects the first disc to come out by the end of this year, with subsequent discs coming out over the next couple years. So lots in here to take in. Let's jump into it. It's Kyle Meredith with Wang Chung.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure and an honor to talk to you, man. Especially behind all the fun stuff that's going on with the with the group right now. So we'll start with the easy stuff. You're part of this this thing called Back to the Basement, right? Could you tell me a little bit about what to expect from that?
Yeah, I mean it's basically a sort of quarantined concert, so virtual online concert. We're all at home, collaborating. It was something that when we were approached by Greg Ross of abductedbythe80s.com, he's a friend of ours, he told us what he was trying to do with this thing, and we were delighted to get involved, especially as it's even more so because it's in such a good cause for the charity Direct Relief. They're the sort of charity to help frontline responders, healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, etc., in the fight against COVID-19. So, those people are amazing, and we're very, very happy that, getting involved in this event can hopefully raise some money for those people. So that was it. And also, because we've had to come off the road, we had so many gigs and tours lined up, but of course the virus has stopped that for a while. So this is a sort of really good alternative way of communicating with fans and people, and to do something sort of creative in the public arena, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. it's a win-win for us.
And you've gone the extra mile too, because it's not just getting on there. I mean, you've given us a new version of an old classic. Everybody Have Fun Tonight is suddenly Everybody Stay Safe Tonight. With Valerie Day, was that cooked up before this performance was lined up, or was it meant to be a part of it?
It was totally inspired by being part of this. We wanted to do something that would really maybe. With a bit of good advice, a sort of bit of fun way of expressing it. It seemed so. The Back to the Basement was the kind of trigger for us to do it. But it's just come together really spontaneously and really well. We're really happy with it. It sounds pretty authentically like the original, except with more appropriate lyrics. And Valerie, it's lovely having her on the track. We know her. We're big fans of New Shoes. So it feels really good. And we've even done a special video of it as well. So again, it's been lovely, and it's a nice way of maybe bringing a smile to people's faces, hopefully, in amongst the sort of difficult times that we're in, To
have a song like that, it's not too uncommon over the course of a career to do a little, I don't know if it's not a parody, but kind of switching it up for the moment. But it seems like that's a song that would have lent itself to being transformed over time. Is this the first time you all have played with the lyrics in that way?
We've messed around with it a couple of times in the past, but this is the most sort of serious time we've ever, if serious is the right word, it's the most kind of committed time we've ever done it, and we really sort of wanted to make it sound, as sort of accurate as possible. So I suppose this is the first proper time that we've sort of really dived into doing that properly. And, I'm very pleased that we could have done it sort of at this particular time, under these difficult circumstances that we all find ourselves in, with the virus and also all this racist kind of stuff that's been going on. So we just it's a statement of staying safe from racism, from disease, from COVID-19. It feels, and to do it with a bit of fun. So it seemed to cover a lot of bases for us, and I think we feel good and proud about that.
And it's, you all have, of course, plenty of remixes and everything throughout the years of a lot of songs. I'll even point back to the release you put out last year with Orchesography. If I'm getting that name right, I've run that one over my head a few times. But here you are, pairing the songs. Yeah, here you are pairing the songs with an orchestra, which is always an interesting thing for an artist to do. Sometimes it's a natural fit, sometimes it's not. What was that experience like for you all to give it that kind of treatment?
It was a great experience. For a start, we'd never done that before, so it was a really... It's lovely to be able to have new experiences in life, good ones, So it's great to go to Prague in the Czech Republic. It's a beautiful city. It was great to work with the Prague Philharmonic. That was just a pretty interesting experience. The studio we worked in used to be a lecture hall where Albert Einstein used to lecture, apparently. So it's very interesting history. So you feel like you're really experiencing something. And then to hear your music being reinterpreted with an orchestra, to be in the middle of all these musicians, it was really, really stimulating and inspiring. And we're proud of the record. So, and we actually hope to, we're planning to do some orchestral live concerts, either towards the end of this year or next year sometime. That's something, again, we've never done. So it's sort of opened up a whole new area of activity for us.
I guess I never considered it, the type of music you do, and if I can use the broad term of even from the new wave side of things, maybe it's because of the keys or whatever, but it seems like it would just be so easy to translate that stuff to when you're talking about strings and wood and, the rest of orchestra. It seems like it'd be sort of kind of an easy adjustment, whereas, again, that's not always obvious for a lot of artists.
I think our music fits very well into movies and to TV shows, and it has indeed been used a lot in those things. And of course, we had experience of actually doing instrumental scores of movies as well. So I think there's something kind of inherent in the way we write our music that lends itself to a sort of different kind of arrangements, and an orchestra sort of works very well. I sort of, when we got approached to do it, I instantly thought this could work and be good, and it wasn't easy. There were moments when it was a bit challenging, and we thought maybe it wasn't going to work out, but luckily we stuck with it, and the results were really good.
Pretty fantastic. So on the other side of things, are we any closer to the Clearlight Dark Matter collection that you all have been talking about for a couple of years now?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't hang about, do we? Yes, we are getting close. We're still putting it all together. It's incredibly comprehensive. It's going to cover a lot of bases, from visual stuff to unreleased rarities that have never. We hadn't heard them for ages, So and we've been writing a lot of annotations about and historical stuff. So it's grabbing all these old photographs and videos and old concert material. So it's quite an undertaking, and it's definitely for the Wang Chung heads, But I think it's going to be something we're proud of, and we're going to have to release it in tranches, So there'll be the first one will probably come out in later this year, towards the end of the year, and then the next one through. The subsequent ones through 2021. So, but yes, coming soon, honestly.
Does it concentrate on any certain era, or does this cover like the entirety?
Everything. I mean, from the very, very beginning to right up to now. So, for example, we played our last album before the Orchesography orchestral album. We released an album called Taser Up of new material at the time. That was in 2012. So there's going to be a load of stuff around that album, and so it goes right up to the present day. It's going to be, as I say, completely comprehensive.
I'm really looking forward to that one. I've been, since you've been teasing it for a couple of years now, I've really been looking forward to diving into that one. So yeah, bring that stuff on.
Oh, cool.
Nick, it's been
we'll do it.
it's been such a pleasure talking to you about this, and again, looking forward to checking out the Back to the Basement and seeing what you all do and all the rest of the gangs do. That's going to be I know that's going to be really special. So thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for using your voice out there to help out the people who are on the front line, and keep doing what you're doing, man. We love it.
Thank you so much, and stay safe. Wang Chung tonight, and also go to abductedbythe80s.com. You'll get all the information of the concert in there, and the donation, where to donate money and stuff. So yeah, great to talk to you. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Cheers, mate.
And my thanks to Nick Feldman, Wang Chung. Again, you can find that Back to the Basement series with all the great 80s artists at abductedbythe80s.com. With benefits going to help out the frontline workers. We're looking forward to that new Clearlight Dark Matter compilation as well. Hopefully everything is on course for us to hear that later on this year. And then, of course, the orchestra concerts. It sounds like whenever shows start back up, we'll see those maybe next year as well. Thanks to Nick. Thanks to you for checking out this episode. Hopefully, if you're not already, you'll want to subscribe to the series as well. Just hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening from right now, or one of your favorite places in podcast land, including Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, iTunes, and all the rest of it. After that, head to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's an hour full of song premieres and music news, anniversary spins, and bonus interviews. WFPK.org. Consequence of Sound, they've got your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media platforms at Kyle Meredith. I do hope you follow and like along in the appropriate places. And that does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.
Consequence Podcast Network.
I'm Leo Phillips, host of This Must Be the Gig. We're a weekly podcast that documents everything about the world of live music. speaking with choreographers, costume and set designers, the people who run beloved venues and festivals, and, of course, speaking with musicians about that one gig that changed their lives. Get your peek behind the curtain at consequenceofsound.net, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.